I've lived in Australia for over 5 years now and I've learnt a thing or two. Doesn't mean I'm an expert about Australia, it just means I've made a few videos about our lives living here. So me and Sam are going to talk about our last 5 years living in Australia and kind of what we've learned living here. And you've got a day planned, nice things for me, haven't you?
Yeah, for your birthday.
And the first one's in the city and we're already late, so
Yeah.
let's get in the car. Just checked into the bathhouse bit, you know it's posh when you've got cubicles. You can't actually film in there, it's a phone-free zone, so I'm going to respect that, and you don't want to see me half naked anyway. So see you when we have some breakfast afterwards and I'll talk about it, and I'm sure Sam will.
Now, with my wife being my wife, she obviously took some pictures, which you can look at now rather than just watch me speak into a microphone. But visiting this fancy bathhouse today is just one of the ways that me and Sam actually use to kind of de-stress. Because the first thing that we've learnt about moving to Australia, or that we miss, is the idea that we really don't have the support network that we did in the UK. How are we able to spend time together? Now, fortunately for us, my mum's visiting at the moment, so she can look after the kids. But feeling isolated from our extended family and living abroad does mean that having day dates or even dates at all is really difficult. But on the flip side, it does allow us to focus a lot more on spending time as our immediate family. Would we have had that benefit if we had lived in the UK? I guess we'll never really know. But one thing we do know is that our kids living here feel a lot more Australian. Probably something to do with the fact that they've spent most of their life here. Add in the bit about from Samantha, do you think it's hard for their grandparents to accept that they're Aussie kids? Let's continue. Do it. But one thing I also notice living here, raising my kids, is that I personally feel that parenting feels a bit safer and freer, which ideally is the way that I wanted my kids to grow up, which is a bit like how I felt we grew up in like the late 80s and early 90s. But it is kind of scary giving your kids so much freedom, trying not to be so much of a helicopter parent. Is everyone like this in Australia? Well, no. There is a healthy mix of different parenting styles. I don't think anyone is more right than others, it's just whatever one you want to choose yourself. I don't think we ever really struggled to adjust to a more laid-back parenting culture. It just felt right with it being so open and free. Sure, there are things that we're pretty strict on, screen time, phones and internet, but just letting your kids play outside and having time to figure themselves out as little individual people, that's one thing that I've learned that for me seems to be a bit easier in Australia. How did that feel, Mount?
That was beautiful. Oh, I feel nice and refreshed and clean and detoxified and...
Sometimes I wonder if these things that you booked for my birthday are actually for me or for
Yeah,
you.
it's because I wanted to try it, so I just thought, why not?
Now let's go and have some breakfast.
So how was your bathhouse experience?
It was really nice. 60 minutes, not quite long enough. We did get a little bit longer, didn't we?
I think it is long enough though. You wouldn't want to spend much longer in there. What would you do? Go in a hot bit, go in a cold bit, go in a hot bit, go in a cold bit?
Yeah.
I mean, I enjoy the hot and the cold bits, don't get me wrong, but
Maybe an hour and a half with the 15-minute shower window.
we are both spoiled by living really close to Nirvana Spa when we lived in the UK, and that thing was huge. It had so many different parts, so we're used to spending like 3 or 4 hours in them. And then you go to ones, we haven't really seen anything on that scale in Brisbane anyway, but they're really good quality, but they're only just kind of small bits. So we had like infrared sauna, another sauna, a Finnish sauna, which I couldn't see what much was different. Someone's going to tell me what the difference with the Finnish sauna is. And then hot pools and cold pools that this one wouldn't go in.
Oh my God, it was so cold. I went up to my ankles and they felt like they were going to fall off. It actually hurt, like it really hurt. And then I went back in the other pool, the warm pool, and I felt like I was on fire.
That's what they're supposed to do.
Nothing.
Cold and then hot.
Showers were nice and they had a bucket that you could pull down if you wanted a really cold
Didn't
one.
use the bucket. I feel like I've missed out.
I'm surprised you didn't pull it down when I was in there. I was waiting for you to do it,
I
yeah.
was trying to be really good.
Yeah.
After watching you suffer, putting your ankle in the cold pool.
Oh gosh. It was nice, it's really relaxing. We actually got a complimentary ticket to return, didn't we? Because some of the lights in the pools weren't working. They had a electrician there trying to sort it out, didn't
It was
they?
quite a dark, ambiance-y place anyway, so the fact that a couple of lights weren't working, I didn't really think was much of a problem.
But I mentioned it was our first time, so maybe that was why. And we got the midweek deal because they had a special on, 118 I think it was. and we got $20 each to have coffee and breakfast, which was nice.
Which is almost a complete breakfast, really. You can get kind of a free breakfast, unless you want a really fancy one like me. How do you think you feel, or how do you think the better weather here changes you as a person?
I want to say I'm more calmer and chilled out, but I don't know if I am, really.
Maybe that's kids.
That's kids, yeah. If we didn't have the kids and the dog, I'd be so chilled.
What would it be like without children?
Oh, I don't know.
I mean, they're a complete joy. They're a wonder. I love them. They do cause a bit of stress, the little buggers.
It does. It's hard work, but they're getting easier, they're getting older.
Saying that though, I think when we first got here, I did notice a massive difference with the weather and how it will change everything. And still, it is generally speaking much better. However, 5 years after now being here, I have definitely acclimatised. Even this morning, even overnight, we thought, having the fan on just made it really cold. When we go camping or the early parts of the morning, it's still really cold. Winter here, even though it's like 12 degrees, that is cold. That plunge pool today was 12 degrees. Oh, I thought I was going to die. So to say that you don't have those feelings of winter blues or having the negative bits to do with your mood and the winter, I mean, it still does creep up with you. Maybe that's like a second wind type of thing, because we had it one of our first or second winters. We had a little bit of a lull, didn't we, about living here and a little bit of a crisis. I think it does come back in little waves over the winter. Thank God it's now spring and it's going into summer. Maybe that's going to go away, but I don't think it ever really goes. You get that full sense of security, don't you, when you first get here, particularly if you come here and it's going into summer like it was for us. But then we sound windy, don't we, because we live in sunny southeast Queensland. Oh, it's never really bad weather. Well, it's all in perspective, mate. When we do get a little bit of bad weather, when we get one day of rain, we don't necessarily mind. Then we get a few days of rain, and it's like those feelings start to come back a bit, don't they?
And when we got that rain when we were camping, and then the wind, oh my God.
Because you get so used to it being great weather.
It just came out of nowhere, didn't it? Like a storm just suddenly came in, and we were like, whoa.
1 minute it was nice sunshine, a few clouds, the next minute I'm holding up the awning, hoping that it won't collapse any further because of the rain. Do you feel the pressure to be outside when the weather's nice, like you did in England?
Really? Because we're in it all the time.
Most of the time.
Yeah, not really. Sometimes it's too bloody hot to go out. I'd rather stay inside.
That does bring with it a separate
it's cooler
challenge,
outside than it is inside. It just depends, doesn't it? No, not really. I like to get the kids out. I don't really like them being stuck indoors.
No, well, that's why we buy all the outsidey things for them. They've got a climbing frame, they've got a pool.
I've got bikes and scooters and tennis rackets and badminton. Not that they can do any of that. Swing ball and...
I don't think our kids like to be inside that much, don't they? Really?
No, but they would be if they were in the UK. Wouldn't have much choice, would they?
Speaking of outsidey places, what are your favourite outsidey places to kind of go to? Because now, I know when we first got here, I wanted to go to all the picture perfect places, the places that you see on Instagram or that people have suggested, but I just don't like busy places anymore. And I was starting to feel that when we lived in England, I just really wasn't into busy places. Is that an age thing? Is that a personal perspective thing? I remember when we went to Byron, and it was like $4 to park.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, what? I don't pay to park anywhere, mate. You get it because of the slightly more touristy, or they're trying to make a buck out of you. But I like it to be no one there.
Oh my God, this is huge. Thank you very much.
Oh my goodness. Oh my
This
gosh.
thing is huge. And then Sam's is just sourdough and toast, mate. No beans though. They don't really like beans as much in Australia. Oh yeah, there are beans. Little beans.
How busy do you like it? Because even when we went camping on the last few days...
You found it busy, didn't you?
Yeah, I don't like busy anymore. I don't like people. Not when I'm trying to relax.
Like people. Alright. I quite like going to the that lake at North Lakes.
Yeah.
I don't go there enough. It's quite nice there. The ducks and the geese and the turtles and the eel. You can have a little walk around the lake and grab a coffee. I also don't really like it busy, like the shopping centres and stuff. I don't enjoy it.
I used to like busy-ish when I didn't mind busy-ish in England. It's like a tipping point, isn't it? When it becomes too busy. Now I'm the complete other way around. I like it to be quiet. I like the beaches where there's no one there rather than.
We're getting older now. Why?
Even for the kids though.
A lot of the beaches are really quiet here, though. I paid extra for the eggs.
So what's a new hobby or well, I'd say sport. Sport might be more for me. What's a new hobby that you do here now that you never did in England?
I don't have time for a hobby or a sport. You wouldn't get me doing sport anyway. I can't do anything.
I think you go to the gym more here.
Well, I started back up again. I don't enjoy it though. It's not something I enjoy doing. I'd like to go walking a bit more, really.
I think you probably walk more than here than you did.
Yeah.
Again, kids are the challenge, doing anything really. Let's go on another walk, right, up one of those tall glasshouse mountains near us. And we'll take everyone
You
along.
did want to do that, didn't you?
Yeah, and you can watch how Whingy Manth gets when she's climbing up a hill.
That'd be a good video for them all to watch. And you wanted to take Aurora up that horse one, didn't you?
Maybe we'll take her on the holidays when Sierra's still at daycare because it's a bit too steep for a 3-year-old.
But they say, yeah, she'll be all right. Got me walking up it pregnant.
Are there any other things here that you do differently or you never did after 5 years?
I feel like I'm forever at the blinking shops. Buying bread and milk all the bloody time.
I don't think that's a hobby.
Feels like it. No, I don't really. The only thing I sometimes quite like to do, I don't really do it very often, but I'll sit with Aurora and do like that gem art. That wasn't a thing in England. It might be now, but I tried to read again, but nah. I keep saying I'd like to go to netball, but I don't like doing anything outdoors in the heat. I couldn't.
They don't play in the heat, they play at night and stuff.
It's too hot for me. I feel sick and headachy, and I'm dizzy if I do stuff in the heat. Thank you.
Yeah, but I don't do any sport and stuff in the heat. I only do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu now, and that's all inside. Still get hot and sweaty though. That's not air conditioned. I think just generally speaking, the thing that we do more of is outdoorsy stuff because of the weather, and you don't even really notice how much of it you do. It's just kind of that expectation. It's easier to just go, we're going to go and do things outside. Kids even, it knocks off on the kids in the sense that they don't even ask really to do things inside.
No.
Or if we do, like it's a bit of a treat, like, oh, we'll go to the cinema today because
Yeah.
we've been in a while. The rainy day activities don't feel so begrudging because it's like, oh, it's raining today, might as well go to an indoor play area or something.
I feel like we need to make more use of the city. Go in a bit more. I mean, we do more here going into the city than we did back home, going to London and stuff.
I think
It's just so cheap to get there.
when the kids were younger, now they're older. We'll take everyone back to South Bank again.
Yeah, and the museum and stuff, I like to take them there.
There you go. Now we bring you along more.
Hey,
That's what we'll do. And we're going to finish this
can I have
breakfast.
some of your bacon?
Yeah.
Thanks.
Where are we going to next, Mark?
Well, our next place is booked for 12:30. What is the time?
11.
So that's in Side. I can't pronounce it because you keep telling me I pronounce it wrong.
Is this the Hijinks Hotel place?
Yeah. Oh, what's that, a bean?
Yeah.
Oh, get it off my plate.
So what's that, like an escape roomy thing?
We've got, I don't know what they said, 2 or 3 like escape rooms and then the mini golf thing. It was like a package deal. And I paid for that already. That's all paid for.
So we'll take you there. We'll see who. If I escape, I'm just going to leave you in there.
You've got to let me do it as well though.
See you there.
Now the next question would be thinking about how our career path has changed since moving, and to be honest that's very different compared to whether it's me or Sam. I'm still in teaching, however rather than teaching in a more traditional schooling environment. Since being in Australia I've followed a more of a vocational path. I think that's a big difference with teaching in schools in Australia. Generally speaking it's not so academically focused, and I agree with that because I don't think all kids really suit academia. So being able to support them in other ventures whilst also getting the basics in English and maths, I find it a lot more fulfilling, which is generally the reflection of how I feel it is to live in Australia. Sam gets a lot more well-being out of her work as well.
I'm still in disability, but not as a teacher aide in a school anymore. I'm more community access support worker for disability. I've also gone back to doing some beauty work. I originally trained as a beautician before I did disability, and so now I do a little bit of that from home.
And she's also been able to move into relocation management, helping other people with their move to Queensland, specifically North Brisbane, and helping them find a house to live in, so they don't have to be in an Airbnb like we did when we moved. I think the biggest difference in teaching here versus the UK, especially in Queensland, is there's less of a focus on academics. And I don't mean that you get less academic kids. Sure, you get people getting the highest ATAR scores and going on to the top universities. But whilst I noticed in the UK that it seemed like everyone was getting pushed to university, which I didn't really agree with, aside from the £9,000 a year it costs to go there, but not everyone is really suited. And we still need people to build houses, work in childcare, and any other essential service that doesn't really need a university degree. Sometimes there are essential services that when you're 15, 16, 17, you don't want to sit down in a chair and try and learn it the academic way. I know loads of people in Australia that have moved into careers like nursing, and they haven't gone through the purely academic route where they had to be successful in school. I think it makes less anxious kids and gives a lot more flexibility for people in later life. I don't really know if it's made our work-life balance better necessarily. A better work-life balance is something that we both strived for when we moved to Australia anyway. So I don't know if being in Australia specifically has improved that. There are lots of people who live in Australia that complain about work-life balance. But I think because it has been one of our priorities with our move, it's always something that we've focused on. You don't need to work too hard if you're already trying to live within your means. And I think the general test is the fact that we do similar jobs as to what we did in the UK. We work just as hard, if not more. But at the end of the day, we feel like we've got more. At the end of the day, we feel like we can do more things. And isn't that what work-life balance is all about, really? Just working enough to feed the lifestyle that you want?
Work-life balance has improved. It's just because the only difference is I have more than one job here, so I've got a few different jobs going on, as well as being mum, as well as being, trying to clean the house and do support and do beauty and everything else. But it has improved. It hasn't got harder. It's just a bit harder because we now have kids.
Because I don't feel like we spend much more in Australia. I mean, on paper we probably do. Things here are more expensive, but we don't buy anything different than we used to have in the UK. We definitely save more now while we're here. We can definitely put money aside to prepare for things that we want later in life. And we don't necessarily have to worry about our fridge died the other day. That was a $2,000 expense that I would have rather not spent, especially just before Christmas. But I wasn't really worried about it. I was worried about finances when we lived in England. I found it incredibly difficult to save money. I always felt like I was living month by month. It definitely helps that we're paid more out in Australia than we were in the UK. Some people say that we're taxed more, but I don't know if I really feel it. But then it's a difficult thing to judge because everyone's in a slightly different financial situation. Not every career when you move over here is always going to pay significantly more.
I personally maybe have found it a little bit harder, only because I work part-time. Sometimes not even part-time, even half of that sometimes. So I guess if I worked more, then I would be able to save more. But I can still help pay for childcare and food and stuff every month. So yeah, money's okay.
How has integrating into the community felt for us and our family? I think on the whole it's been really positive. At first, when we didn't really know people in Australia, we found it really easy to integrate with other Australians. They're warm, friendly, easy to get along with. Having kids meant you met parents in similar life circumstances with kids your age. And as we've gone on and, social media is a thing, we've met other families and people that have emigrated to Australia too. And again, if you're going to compare things to your life are we compensating for a lack of family here? Well, probably. If you haven't got the family to rely on in difficult times, then of course you're going to look to friends. And I guess if you've got the confidence to move to the other side of the world, it's going to reflect on your confidence in other parts of your life. I don't find it difficult or awkward to speak to anyone now. Now that I'm a bit older, I accept that you're not going to be friends with everyone. and that's okay.
As I've said previous times, due to having the girls, it really helps to bond with people and make friends quite easily. My job is a little bit lonely because I do one-to-one work with clients. I don't really get to meet anyone through my work doing disability, but I do meet people doing my beauty, which is quite nice. I've met quite a few people through doing that.
Whilst I find new cultural differences every day, most of the time with the language, and I still can't get over walking barefoot in public, it's probably the fact that, especially in summer, the ground is just too hot. How do people cope? But when you haven't got lifelong friends with you on the other side of the world, and I guess your longest friendships here are only about 5 years, you learn to be a little bit more trusting. You trust people quicker, I guess because you have to.
I find friendships and support systems have changed a bit. I still keep in contact with a couple of friends, and especially my parents, but yeah, it is quite hard with the time difference and stuff, trying to speak, and you know, we've all got kids and we're all at different places at different times, and yeah, so you do kind of lose a bit of your friendship. And I guess you make new friends here. But when I did return home, I made those connections again back with my friends, which was really lovely. Cultural differences, not really. Still, some words are different that I still forget or do say and don't say the English version anymore. But cultural, no, not really.
Looking back, what do I think is the biggest challenge of the move? I don't think there is any one thing that is a bigger challenge than the other. I think the best skill that you can develop is just having to juggle it all. Being able to manage all of the little things that pop up, not to get freaked out by anything. Having the realization that sometimes things just can't go your way, and that's fine. Being able to manage lots of things that crop up all at one time. But then isn't that the relentlessness of life? Adds up.
Biggest challenge was just moving to the other side of the world. That was a big challenge in itself. I didn't think I would be able to do it, or we would be able to do it. Well, I knew Ross would, he can do anything, but I didn't think I would cope. So yeah, I would say that is the biggest challenge. Also constantly fighting with the heat. I still find that quite hard work. Yeah, I don't do summer here, it's too hot, and even now it's not even in summer yet and I'm sweating, like.
But I still maintain that the most rewarding part of the last 5 years is looking at my kids' lifestyle. The lucky little buggers. And ours, really. We never really did things like this that we're doing today, even though we had family support. Now that I'm 38, I kind of wonder and look back, what was my life like when I was 6 years old and 3 years old? Because I don't think I had the lifestyle that my kids lead now. And isn't that what life is all about, really? Just trying to provide the better thing for your offspring. Would we have had a lifestyle like this in the UK? Probably not. Would they have been able to speak to friends and family a bit more? Yeah, but it's not saying that they don't do that at all while they're here. We live in a technical age. You can still speak and talk to people pretty easily. Grandparents still come out to visit, which makes time extra special when it happens. But when you break life down to the day-to-day things that you do every day, I'd say that we've all got it pretty sweet.
The most rewarding part of the last 5 years is, I don't know, maybe having another child. So now I've got 2 girls and they have each other, and that makes me happy. That's a pretty rewarding job, you know, being mum and dad. You know, we've got a nice big house. We're very lucky to have what we have. Yeah.
Outback Steakhouse, food 6 out of 10. Ambiance, like the actual restaurant itself, 6 out of 10. Service 2.
Yeah, really bad.
If that's an actual representation of what Australian food is like to Americans or anywhere else in the world, it definitely doesn't feel very Australian, and you've lost your phone down the side.
No, it's my golf ball
Oh, okay.
that I pinched.
Naughty.
If someone asked me whether it was worth it, what would I say to them? I'd tell them to do it. I wouldn't have ever done it if it wasn't for Ross that pushed for it. There's no way I'd still be living in Reading back in the UK, and I probably wouldn't even have my own house by the house prices that are over there. So yeah, I would say do it. Like, life's too short, give it a go. If it doesn't work, you can just go back. It's not the end of the world. I know you're the other side of the world, but still you're only 24 hours away on a plane, so you can get back. But yeah, it's so worth it. The outdoor lifestyle was amazing. The weather's nice. Yeah, everything's nice over here really about Australia.
If someone asked us whether it's worth it, what would we tell them? Well, I think it doesn't really matter what we say. It's more about our actions, really. After 5 years of living in Australia, we're not looking to go back, and we've even finally got round to applying for citizenship. The race is on to see who can get it done faster. Me without an agent, or Samantha who is using an agent. True Blue Migration to be specific. So if you're watching this and you're enjoying our Australian lifestyle and you're thinking to yourself, oh, I want to get involved in that a little bit too, Ross. I want to get out for coffee dates and spa days. Even that little bit of putt-putt looked fun. When was the last time that you went to see Cirque du Soleil? Well, in Australia you can really have it all. So why don't you find out what visa is available for you? Speak to True Blue Migration, mention that Johnston Life and use their free visa assessment. And because we've been working with them for pretty much our 5 years of being here, together we've been able to help hundreds, if not thousands, I mean it's probably thousands by now, thousands of people, helping them to find out what is their best option for moving to Australia, or staying in Australia if you're already here, living on a temporary visa and you just want to find out what your permanent residency options are. Go onto their website www.truebluemigration.com, and once you realise how fantastic their service is, because you mentioned that Johnston Life, you'll also go on to save an additional $200 off the cost of your visa, which is a little bit under what we spent today, which is pretty much how much it costs per person to have a day like this, just not including snacks.
How was that, Manf?
Wow, that was amazing, wasn't it? It was so good.
When you think you have seen everything, then out comes something either weirder or more impressive. Most of the time more impressive. But we will finish this video on the last point, which is community and culture. And I guess the first question is, have you ever felt like an outsider in Australia?
Nah, definitely not.
Nah, I don't think it's ever really a thing, especially, well, coming from a British country, we personally don't feel like outsiders. I don't feel like we have friends that are from other countries that feel particularly outsiderish anyway. I mean, it might be different for people from different countries. Me being a bit Filipino as well, like, I don't feel out of place here. I think people are generally speaking pretty welcoming, as long as you embrace Australian culture and don't really try and insist that everyone embraces yours.
Yeah.
And if people take the piss about you being British, you just kind of give it back, really, in a humorous way.
And then you get called a whinging pom anyway.
Oh, you're gonna get called that anyway. Has the distance from the UK made you miss UK culture more?
Has the distance on the UK?
Yeah, like, you know, it's been 5 years from the UK. Have you missed it?
Not really.
Is there any aspect of UK culture that you miss?
The pubs, the TV.
Do you really miss it?
Yeah, I do. I miss watching all my soaps. The TV over here's crap. You know,
Would you go back for it though?
No, but I do get sick of like always trying to find something on Netflix all the time, and I can't just watch, you know, my recorded EastEnders or Hollyoaks or Holby City or Casualty and all the stuff that I used to do. I don't really do when I used to sit down with my cat.
We still watch Love Island though.
Yeah, we do still watch Love Island. Yeah.
And I guess there are ways, normally quite illegal ways, but there are ways to watch British things if you really wanted to.
Yeah, but you won't buy it.
And your inability to be technical isn't trumped by your need to go and watch it.
Well, you pay for your sport.
Yeah, no, I miss that. I miss that enough to have to pay for it. That's for sure. And I think I can still try. Remember that English pub down in the Gold Coast? Maybe if I do get my need for real ale, I'll just go there. But I haven't been back there in about 4 years. It's been so long that you literally can't even remember.
No.
What's it called? Like the Red Lion or something like that?
Oh, no.
In the Gold Coast hinterland.
Oh, I don't.
Weren't they with
What,
Paul?
the English pub?
Yeah.
Oh,
The one that they
yeah,
literally
yeah.
transported from England.
Well, say that then. The English pub that we went to.
Pretty sure I did
Oh
say
my
it.
goodness. Right.
Was it difficult to make new friends as an adult? I can't say for me like it is difficult, because I feel like we have more friends now. Maybe it's how moving to a different country makes you think fuck it, and you just, nothing can faze you. Maybe it's I'm getting older. Maybe it's the advent of social media and that I've met people through doing this.
We have. That's really helped. And then having the kids. If we didn't have the kids, I think, oh gosh, I don't know how many friends we would have. But
Yeah.
I guess you don't know because we've not been in that situation, have we?
I think if you're going to be successful moving to the other side of the world, then...
You've got to be prepared to get out there, haven't you?
And it will change you as a person,
Yeah.
regardless. The whole process changes you. I've changed in 5 years. I'm probably got the same core values that I used to have, but you adapt and improvise and overcome just to kind of beat any challenges, really. And I guess, have we had any moments of loneliness despite being part of different groups and feeling like we've got more friends? Sure, and I think sometimes those bouts of loneliness feel even worse because you don't have those deep connections with people. Yeah, we've got more friends. Have we got deeper connections than we did with friends in the UK, like friends from childhood? No. But then it's not to say that they won't develop over time. We might be making this video in 5 years' time, 10 years' time, and still have those friends.
And they know you for who you are now.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? Like, if we went back, you went back, they might be like, oh, you're different to what you were 5 years ago. Do you know what I mean?
I was a horrible person as a teenager.
Yeah, like I feel like I've become a bit more quiet, a bit more mellow. I'm not as loud and big as out there as I used to be.
You're not walking off in clubs anymore when you get drunk?
No, I just can't do it. And not with kids. I can't do it. And I can't do hangovers, and alcohol doesn't like me anyway. I just can't do that anymore.
So thank you for coming along with us today. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got a bit of a better insight into our feelings of what it's like. Oh, someone's tired.
Sorry.
After living here for 5 years. If you've got any other places that you reckon we should go to and bring you along and show you what it's like, and then, I don't know, share some insight into what it's like living in Australia, then please make the suggestion down below, or message us on Instagram if you want to meet up and you're not weird. What's the next one? We're going whale watching, aren't we?
Yeah, on Saturday we're going whale watching.
Whale watching 2.0 in the Sunshine Coast.
Yes, and a different one to what we went to however many years ago that was.
That was before the second kid.
4 years, yeah. No, 3 years. 3 or 4 years ago we went, didn't we, with Aurora?
Hope we see some whales. See you then.
Bye.